gets to about 5 seconds, when the Spurs go marching in, yeah?
It's just, I hate to tell you, it's just said you're live.
Right, that's it. You're live now. Now hit the countdown. Under video clips in the What's Name stream.
Yeah, I hate to tell you, Lely's gone. I don't have the countdown button. I've got live. I think we're on air. I have to tell you, I think we're on air. Good evening. Welcome to the Sunday edition of the Tottenham Till I Die. We are live on air. It is Sunday the 14th of July. It's a very special show tonight because Tottenham, England even, are in the final of the European Championship. Good evening to our guests. First of all, Queen Ellie Hoiberg. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm sad that we're not playing against Denmark in the final, but we're playing against Jose Garcia, so that's good enough for me. But thank you for asking.
Yeah, and Adrian, how are you?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. I'm sure there's plenty for us to discuss. I'm fine, all well here at my end. So looking forward to get into it. And then obviously we've got the game, and no doubt as we speak, there's probably half of England are probably in pubs at the clubs at the moment, you know.
100%.
Well,
There's quite a
Settling
few
their nerves,
road.
settling their nerves, right? So
yeah, I'm in Spain at the moment. I'm in a part that you'd really call a little England, but
Right.
I'm heading off to meet some Spanish friends in a local bar, and I think win, lose or draw, it will be a really great night.
Yeah,
it's good that we're getting in there. Adrian, do you remember 66?
Yeah, vaguely. I was 11.
Yeah, well, I was 6 and I don't really remember it. Can you remember like the atmosphere around the country and what have you?
Not really, because you don't really go out that much. When you're that young, it's like when I watched the double side play and I was 5 or 6 then. There was all this excitement around me. It's a shame because you're too young to take in the enormity of what had happened. Same with 66. I remember being given gifts of because the football was orange. Remember, there was like an orange tin, circular ball tin with a green base underneath it. And when it was given to me, I opened it, split in two, and it was full of toffees with World Cup Willie on the top. You know, do you remember the song? Dressed in red, white.
World Cup
Willie. We all love you, World Cup Willie. I mean, so now we're in another final, and obviously the songs have got a bit better rather than sort of
It feels a little bit. I guess the feel I've got go through my head is a bit like when the Queen died. In that, for all of us, unless you're of a particular age, you were born under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, and it's really difficult to get used to the fact that it's God Save the King and it's King Charles III, not Queen Elizabeth II.
I know.
Yeah. Ellen, do you get that feeling?
I mean, she became queen 3 years before I was born. So she became queen in 1952. She was in Kenya in treetops, right? And you know, I like my history. And
I love Adrian. He's going to give us the history now.
1953, the actual coronation, because I think Benjamin Britten wrote. So he wrote a thing for the coronation as well at the time. The famous composer. Yeah. So boy, did she have a long reign. Boy, did she.
It feels the same with 66. It's 58 years since we won anything, Adrian. A country of our size, with our football resources, should have won many more trophies. I just have that feeling it's our time.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I was just trying to turn off my buzzer because people buzzing about the game. So WhatsApp is going like crazy, Twitter's going like crazy, or if you want to call it X. Everything's going crazy. And like if we win, there'll be street parties straight away. I'm telling you.
But I need to. There's Louis the Best. I don't know if you're listening, Louis. Louis is my grandson who seems to like tuning in.
Big up, Louis. Big up, Brian Dagan.
His internet superstar grandpa, but his mother Caroline, who's an HR and employment law specialist. Breaking news: there is a new European sickness bug which has gripped the nation. IT5-CMN-HME I5CH, or it's coming home. And it's elongated.
It's coming. Football coming. Do you know what? It's going to be such an elation if we win.
Yeah.
Such euphoria is going to hit the country, and there'll be car hooters and loads of England flags everywhere being waved, and it's going to be just mayhem, isn't it?
No,
and
absolutely.
Twitter's going to go like crazy.
Read this, Ellie. You can expect a spike in Monday absence rates.
Yes.
Significant rise in LinkedIn leadership posts. We are expecting new data at 10:30 p.m. to confirm the impact of I5CH. Those in Scotland are not at risk.
They said, there might be a public holiday given if England wins.
I was just going to come on to that. What do you think of that?
I think that's brilliant. Obviously, I'm retired, so it's not going to affect me. But if I was working, I'd be celebrating. I think no work on a Monday. That's one up. And then there's going to be street parties galore. Which one you're going to attend? You've got to pick the best one, right? Obviously, I think the Jamaican ones in Tottenham are going to be well wicked. They really will. Because the Jamaicans are behind England, would you believe? Right? They're not behind Spain. And, I just think this is going to be awesome. I think there's going to be so many people, come out of the woodwork who were England fans, but just, have gone redundant. They're going to find their voice again, and they're going to be joining some parties like myself.
Absolutely. Adrian, a public holiday, maybe not tomorrow because they'll need to give proper notice of it, but a public holiday will really change your life for the better.
I think, well, I'm retired anyway. I think people are going to have a public holiday tomorrow anyway. There's be so many absentees, win, lose, or whatever, is going to be happen. I mean, I think England have got a very good chance of getting this done tonight. Actually, well, I'm sure we'll come.
Let's preview the game.
Okay,
Ellie, let's talk about Spain. How much have you watched Spain so far?
I've watched every single game, but I haven't watched the entirety of their games because I like duty calls. Like I'm a mother and I'm looking after my disabled husband as well, so I have to do things. But everything that I've seen, and I've watched them on playback, watched the highlights, it's been superb. The only time I thought they were a little bit jaded was against Germany. They looked a bit leg heavy, but they still got the job done. They still got the victory. But other games that I've seen, their movement and their passing is absolutely sublime. And I take my hat off to the Spaniards. If we beat them, we have to be on our game because they're going to be on their game. They're going to want this just as much as us, right? So it's like we want to make sure that we go there with the right mindset, go on that pitch with the right mindset, not being too cocky, not thinking it's ours already. You've got to win your stripes in football, right? So we've got to match them in every quarter of the pitch, right? And we've got to be better than them as well because they can score goals. They they make it look easy as well, the way they move the ball. And I just feel that we're up against it. We are up against it. It's going to be a tough match, but I think we can, if we play to our potential and we don't sit back, we go for it. That's how I want us to play, on the front foot. I think we give ourselves a much, much better chance, because rest assured, they were having our guts for garters, because the Spanish have got, like, they've already beaten our ladies in the World Cup final, right? So we've got to get our own back for that one, make it 1-1 at least. And they'll be up for it just like us, you know, and they'll be ready to spoil our party just like the Italians. But we've got to make sure that they don't, you know, and we play to our best abilities.
Good evening, Brian, by the way. I hope you're still there. Yep, come on, England. Adrian, as Ellie was alluding to, do you think that an open match will actually suit England?
I think we're physically stronger than them, Ian. And they have been very good, what I've seen of them. They're very good. Have they peaked too soon? Everyone's been hyping the Spanish up, and they probably go into this game as favourites, which is good. That's better to go in as the underdog every time, you ask me. And, like, we know they've got quality players in Lamar on the wing and Nico Williams on the wing and things like that. And we know they've got Rodri, world class, right there. But I mean, like, have they peaked too soon? The thing with this England squad is, I'm talking about the squad, not the 11 that goes out there. The majority of that squad have got so much more to give. There's so much more to come from them, right? We just showed signs in the last game against Holland that we played a bit in the first half. Again, the second half was a bit like, again, we simply just sit back, just absorb everything. But I mean, when we talk about their players being good, we always do this in the UK. We always hype up foreign players or foreign sportswomen better than ours, right? Yeah. And I reckon the Spanish will be having the same conversation. They'll be worried about Kane. They'll be worried about an informed Bellingham, an informed Foden or Saka. But, you know, there's 4 players there for them to worry about without Rice, you know. So this, I mean, I hope it's a fantastic game. I obviously hope we win it, you know. But no, I'm not. See, we won't know. We'll have a better clue how things are going after the first 15 minutes, probably into the game. We don't know. And nerves are all going to say we're going to win and all that, because we're all nervous and a bit jittery and we want England to win it.
Of course, yeah.
If it's a bore fest and it's 1-0, you know what I mean? I mean, we'd want England to win it because it's been so long. But England won't go on that pitch. The players won't go on that pitch fearing Spain. I mean, the fans would be nervous. You're better on the pitch because you're actually playing. You haven't got the nerves of watching a game. Like when you've played football, you know what it's like. Yeah. So I'm not. We can talk about tactics in a bit, but like, so I'll come back to you. I'm not too worried about Spain. I think the two sides are very even, and England have got a big ceiling. Their players have got a bigger ceiling.
Yeah. First, big up to you, Mark Cousins, one of our admin, and going to be one of our regulars on here. Yeah, just 3 of us doing, I think, what will be a relatively brief show. At least it will be for me, because I think people will want to settle in, go to the pub, listen to the build-up and what have you. I said I'm in Spain, Mark, so I'll be heading off to meet some Spanish friends to enjoy the game with as well. So, yeah, I mean, Ellie alluded to peaking too soon. That's sometimes the team that starts off best doesn't always win the competition, Ellie.
Yeah, Adrian, you mean? Adrian alluded
No, well, actually, I asked you, but because Adrian was speaking.
Yeah,
but
I think on the day, it doesn't matter who's peaked and who hasn't. It's who's got the balls to take the game by the scruff of the neck and actually show what they can do, and beat the opposition by being stronger, more aggressive, more skillful, getting the goals as well. Obviously, you score more goals than them, you've won the game. So I want to do it in full time this time. I can't stand when it goes to extra time, and then you've got the penalties alluding, and you're thinking, oh my God, it's going to go to penalties when they haven't scored, and then you get the jitters, don't you, when it goes to penalties?
Absolutely.
Because it's anybody's game when it goes to penalties.
Ellie, are you old enough to remember Jimmy Cyril managing Notts County?
I'm quite. Yeah, I do remember him, but obviously I was very, very young.
Yeah, well, that's
right?
okay. I mean, because he had a wonderful expression. The team that scores the most goals wins. The rest
Yeah.
is only gossip.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, Adrian, you've talked about the kind of game. Who are the? I mean, you talked about Yamal. You talked about Williams. Who else do you think is a real danger from the Spanish point of view? Because it seems to me they've got great players all over the pitch.
I think the key to this game will be hitting balls over the top of their wingers into space behind them. But the most important thing is to stop Rodri from controlling the pace of the game. I would man mark him personally. I really would. I'd be on him like a rash, right? But he's world class and he seems to dictate the pace of their games. So, like, he is the one. I mean, like, it's not to say he's going to have a good game today anyway. You don't know. Teams turn up, nerves are affect them. They got a lot. The Spanish have got young players as well, and you don't know if nerves will affect them. And they're used to winning, so I don't know how it'll affect them if they go behind in the game, because we know what the temperament can be like when these are hot-blooded people from the Mediterranean can lose their cool at times, can't they? So, and I think
putting 4 off in the first 20 minutes, I could live with that.
Yeah. So I mean,
in blood.
I think Rodri. I think obviously. I mean, we know who's going to be a threat. Their forward line's going to be a threat. We know that. You know, they've got Danny Olmo who's up for top goal scorer. He's been playing out of his skin. We're linked with him. We're also linked with Nico Williams. I don't mind being linked with these players. I felt we'll get them, though. But yeah. So and to do that, I mean, you could go a 3-5-2 or something like that. I don't think so. I think you've got to have 2 fullbacks that have really got big engines on them to cope with Nico Williams and Lamel, and you've got to try and push them back, make them and tire them out, make them run after the ball to tire them. So then, like, you can get on top of the game, like, and Rodri. So that's it. I think, yeah, we'll see if our midfield can perform like they did during the good spell against Holland in the first half. We could go a long way to winning this game.
Ellie, we're not expecting any surprises from the England team, I guess.
From the what team?
From the England team.
Oh no, I think he's going to stay. Gareth Southgate is very loyal to his players, right? And I think he'll field the same 11 that he fielded against our last opponents, Holland. So I think he's quite a conservative manager, pragmatic. But I think this game needs more than pragmatic and conservative. It needs more oomph, because Spain are a different level of footballer to the Dutch. The Dutch maybe in the past were fabulous and they were up there with the even more ahead of the Spanish. But now the Spanish have taken the ball by the horn, and they really have improved, and they've got players that can hurt you, especially Rodri. If we let him be the big spider in the midfield controlling everything, he's going to punish us, because he joins the attack very often as well. And because of his size and his physicality and his engine, we've got to watch that one. And I think Declan Rice is cometh the hour, cometh the man. I'm hoping that he has one of those performances that we've seen for Arsenal as well. And he really does grasp that midfield, and with other midfielders as well, because we've got Bellingham, who's quite a unit as well. And he can be physical when he wants to be. So they need to play as a team. They need to really unite together and play for one another, and not do any of this individual stuff. It's nice to do the individual stuff up the top, but in the midfield, make sure that we don't lose that midfield battle, because I think that is key to us winning.
I'll just bring up Brian's point, because that was the one I was going to raise. That the word on the street is that Shaw is starting at left back, which would probably go along with what Adrian said about playing a flat back 4. No, there's nothing definite about it, but he's got Shaw presumably on Yamal, and I assume then he'll play Kyle Walker really close to Nico Williams. Walker's got pace. That would appear to me to be the way you'll play it. But I don't know if you've got any thoughts about. Oh, she's gone. She's got any thoughts? Adrian, you come in on that then.
Yeah, but they need to keep those, put those two in their pockets, don't they? And then you can push on with your midfield and that, and try and get our wider players there, which will be Saka and Foden, won't it? And our front four can all be brilliant on their day. If they all click today, we're in for a cracking final, and England will be eventual winners. I mean, they've got to find a way of stopping Foden, Bellingham, Kane, and Saka as well. So it's both teams will give each other things to worry about. It's a question of who asserts themselves and dominates. And they used to say in the old cup finals, I mean, Dave McCall had the right attitude against the final against Chelsea. He's standing in the nude singing Scottish war songs. You know what I mean? I mean, he was really up for it. There's a mental thing here as well. I mean, the mentality's got to be right. And I think this England team are coming to the boil at the right time. I don't know if Spain can play any better. They probably could against weak opposition, but I mean, I don't think they're going to play any better. They're still a force. They're still a great side. They're still a very good side. They're a young side and all, because even back in Spain, they weren't expected to make this final. So they've still got a lot of growth to happen. Same as we with our players. No, it's a fascinating final, and tactically, it's going to be interesting, Yeah. And the important thing is, will our manager be proactive if he does need to change things, if it's not looking good, even if we're 0-0? Will he be proactive rather than reactive?
I think that's absolutely right. You talked about man marking, and if you can stop Rodri dictating the game, you're really going a long way to stopping Spain. Would you put Mainu on him, and then which allows Rice to actually dictate the pace of the game from an England point of view, or would you rather just leave Declan Rice on him and then let Mainu get creative?
I would rather put Mainu on him, because I'd want Rice more where our back four is, just to help the fullbacks out. If the wingers are giving him a problem, then he can cut right or left and double up. Whereas Mainu's got a good engine on him, isn't he? So he could follow Rodri for 90 minutes and still do a bit getting forward himself. So I mean, good luck to the kid. I hope he has a stormer. All the players, I would keep. That's me being probably a bit Southgate conservative. I wouldn't want Rice, unless you're dominating. You don't want your midfield pivots. Well, not Rice going forward, So
no, sure. But Ellie, do you agree with that?
No, I totally disagree, right? Because I think Mainu, a young lad, he's wet behind the ears when it comes to football, but he's a talent. There's no doubt about that. I just think he would lack the physicality to keep up with Rodri, because Rodri's a unit. You see the size of him; he's massive, right? And I think Rice is a physical specimen as well. I think he can match him in terms of the physicality of the game. I think it would be a big mistake. But plus, we want Mainu to do his tricks, because the lad, he's got lots of tricks up his book, and he's really, really, really effective in that final third at moving the ball really quickly. I just think we're going to lose something, because Declan Rice, I think he's the best at tracking players as well, because I've been watching him play for Arsenal, and he's fantastic at nullifying the best player in the other team and actually getting forward himself as well, because he does join the attack very often. And I think we've got enough in defence, because remember before the tournament, everybody was talking about our defence being weakened, right? It's weak. But I think our defence has been fabulous, especially Guihi. I think he's been absolutely brilliant, right? And he hasn't put a foot wrong. And even when he's lost the ball, right, he's always won it back, right? He's got the tenacity and the eagerness. Yeah. And he wants to prove a point, because everybody was doubting him, and he's proved all these critics wrong. So, I just want Declan Rice, because he's built like Rodri. He's got hips like Rodri. So I want him to track him. Yes, Shane. Woo!
Woo! Good evening,
Yes.
Mr. Chang, or good morning. Have
No,
you've been in bed? Because it looks like you got your
a very good
pajamas on
morning,
there.
everybody. I apologize for being almost a good half hour late. I sincerely apologize for me being late. I just only got back. Actually, I tried my utmost best to get back on time before the
Yeah.
stream started, but I just only got back home here, back to Kuala Lumpur. Actually, I just got back here to Kuala Lumpur about a good 5 minutes earlier, so I rushed up here as soon as I could to get myself back on. But I hope everybody is having a
Sleep.
wonderful
Chang.
Chang,
Sunday, even though
you,
it's already a Monday here in
Chang, you can
Southeast Asia.
sleep when you're dead.
Yeah.
You can sleep
Have
when
a
you're dead.
lovely sleep.
Can I just say,
2 in the morning your way? Is it on 2:25 in the morning?
1:25 to be exact?
Oh,
It's
oh,
1:25 Monday morning.
Oh, well,
I hope everybody is having a fantastic
we're
Sunday,
all well.
and
Yeah.
we're all
Right.
looking forward to the
We're
match.
okay. We're
This
just
is the
wondering
first-
how you can stay awake. Did you splash your face with cold water or something, Chang? You like splash yourself to wake yourself
I did give myself I did refresh myself before coming onto the stream.
Yeah.
I managed to get some. I'm glad I actually managed to get some sleep this afternoon with a short nap prior to leaving from Malacca for KL, for Kuala Lumpur. And this is, I think, the first time. This is the first time that all four of us are actually convening.
Yeah.
All four of us, channel administrators are
It's so
convening.
good.
What an occasion! I wouldn't have missed this for the world. I hope you're looking forward to seeing the starting lineups.
Yeah.
Wow, what a fantastic day of sport it's been. Starting with Wimbledon.
I
If
know.
anyone here enjoys the
It's
tennis,
incredible.
finals.
That Alcaraz, he's a brilliant player. What a player.
Chang,
Fantastic.
what's your take on the midfield battle? I mean, I've suggested that Maynard would help to mark Rodri. I'm not going to say he's going to do it his own. At least suggested that Rice should do it. But I think out of the 3-1 up top, if he goes that way, Foden's not exactly a physical big player. Saka doesn't really get stuck in, but I think Bellingham could help out in that department. He could help out against Rodrigo with Mano, or maybe Bellingham might even be given the job. Ellie, like I'm a bit like that. Let's see how the first half goes. I don't think the teams might it might be a bit of a chess game in the first half, or it might not. It could be hell for leather, or it could be teams not willing to take too many risks, until they settle into a rhythm. So I think Bellingham may have to get double duty as well. I think he'll probably have to. They've got to have some sort of plan for, unless it's whoever's nearest to him picks him up, which you can do when you're a really good side, But what do you think, Chang?
In this final, I mean, you brought up many great points there, from which Gareth Southgate would have gladly, tried to employ later this evening against the Spanish Armada. However, I mean, absolutely no disrespect to Koibi Mainu or any other young English midfield starlet who feels that this will be their crowning glory to lead England to finally land some international silverware on a global level. But this final might be one match too soon for him if you are talking merely in terms of your experience, your know-how, even your grit when it comes to pulling it off, going that final mile, the extra distance in a final.
Yeah.
I would actually bank on experience more than anything right now, because this is a final, so anything goes, anything happens, and the winners rise to the occasion. Not to say that Kobe Manu isn't a winner.
Chang, who are you expecting to win?
I'm actually expecting England to scrape out a very dodgy win, whether it's from a penalty, whether it's from a a highly contentious VAR offside decision, maybe even a sort of a handball from a free kick or a dead ball set piece. I'm actually expecting England to eke out a narrow victory in full time. I really hope it doesn't go to. I really hope it doesn't go to extra time, because I really do need my sleep before I get to work. Honestly, that's God's honest truth.
Chang, Ellie alluded to the fact that Southgate's lower to his players, so we don't see many changes. And when you talk about Manu there, you got me thinking. I mean, I was wondering, do you think Manu will start on the bench and he'll play Trent or Gallagher? Do you think he would start that way?
I really hope that it's either one of Trent, Cole Palmer, or even Conor Gallagher that bolsters that midfield, because all three of those names are more than capable when it is, when it's called upon them to perform big time. And I will only employ, or rather, I will only deploy Koibi Manu somewhere past the hour mark if things aren't going England's way, or maybe even at halftime if, let's say, England find themselves trailing, which I really hope that's not going to be the case. But yeah, I can't see. I would honestly reserve Koibi Manu as a sort of a super sub. Pretty much maybe the same way you could say Big Ange deployed Brendan Johnson as our own super sub. So Koibi Manu could be seen as our hidden ace up our sleeve, if and when he is decided to be, if and when he is called upon. But yeah, I mean, if I were to say, if I would rank these players as the probability of them starting the field. Trent first. I will put Trent, and then maybe Conor Gallagher, followed by Cole Palmer, in that order, before I really do look towards deploying Koibi Manu. And yeah, I can.
Chad,
Yes, Mr.
people
Man.
have been talking a lot about Harry Kane. He's always going to be a little bit controversial. One season wonder, and 10 years later, he's still backing them in. But I mean, I've said on streams that I don't think he's fit, and that's why he's not been playing perhaps with the same mobility. It's nothing to do with stepping down and playing in Germany, or the fact that he's 30 now. I genuinely don't think he's fit. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Okay, so yeah, I also had this debate about 2 days ago on a Friday afternoon over on Kate and Jimbo's Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs channel, with regards to Harry Kane and his England captaincy, because there was a lot of talk of him being the greatest England player of all time. For me, I think if he can even play half an hour or even a whole hour, he should start, because I think he really means that much to the players, to his players to look up to him as a national skipper, and also to us Spurs fans who look upon him as one of our own, and we really, really wish for him to break his trophy jinx, regardless if it's with Bayern Munich or England or any other club, any other team. So for me, if he is even fit to play, half an hour to an hour, he should start. But that doesn't mean that he's undroppable. The moment he's struggling to pick up the pace, the moment he's struggling for fitness, the moment he runs out of breath, the moment he's in stamina, the moment he's leggy, I think Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins are more than capable, of taking up the mantle, because
that's what Ellie, Adrian was alluding to earlier about the fact that we've got real strength on the bench to actually change a game. Whereas I'm not sure that Spain has got that in the kind of numbers and quality that we have.
No, I think we've got the better squad, definitely.
I tell you what,
right.
The current situation was what got me thinking. As you know, I give a lot of thoughts on lots of things, and I would See, I've been going when I suggested dropping Manu after his last good game. You know, the pelters came flying at me all directions, right? But that's okay because it's just opinion. You know, I wasn't slighted by it or anything. Because I suggested I would like Bellingham to play as the ball carrying Gascoigne number 8, right, alongside Rice. Then he could defence pleasant. Then the two of them could take care of Rodrigo, right? Then my 3-1 would be Foden on the left because he started to show a bit of his formula. As a number 10 because he's going to play as a number 10 whenever you put him in the team. And then I'd have Saka, who I did criticise before the last couple of games when he's shown. And then that would mean I could play Ollie Watkins up front and Watkins could run in behind the lines. So, like, you've got Foden, Kane, Saka, Watkins in front of them, and you've got Bellingham and Rice behind them. Now, I think that's quite an exciting thing, but, you know, we won't know until we see the lineup. We'll have an idea. It's going to be 4 at the back because Spain have got the 2 wingers, right? So Shaw's, as someone said in the chat here, like Brian said that Shaw's meant to play, which will give us much better balance. So and he can do a job like so. Yeah. I mean, we won't know until the lineup comes up. I would rather go with that because I think that's positive than put Conor Gallagher on or Troy. I will understand why he's doing it. I could, you know, or I will understand him doing it if we're 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go. But until we actually see the lineup, you play Football Manager with loads of permutations in your head, didn't you?
Oh, I mean, I would put my house on the team being Pickford in goal, Walker, Stones, Gooey and Shaw, Rice, Manu, Bellingham, Foden, Saka, and Kane. I would be staggered if that wasn't the team. Staggered. I mean, he's not going to leave Kane out now. I know I've said that, you know, perhaps there was a case for leaving him out earlier in the competition. He ain't doing it now. You're not getting to the final and leaving him out. I mean, unless something's happened in training we don't know about. Kane will play. And as I say, we'll see the lineup soon enough. I think when the lineups come out, it'll be time for me to go to the pub. But
he does drop deep and like so. What you do when you drop deep as a false number 9-10 is you don't give their 2 centre backs anyone to mark as well. He's also got to get forward, which is what we'd like to see a bit more of him around the box than the box, obviously, you know.
But that's the point.
Got goals. Although he has got
Adrian, that's the point, isn't it? That this is the criticism. I mean, you don't need to be a football expert to know this. If Kane comes short, then there's got to be runners coming in behind. And one of the things where Sonny was absolutely brilliant was in making those runs. And, of course, Kane's ability as a passer to pick him out. And, you know, no wonder they had the highest sort of goals and assists for each other because they had that telepathic understanding. And Son was making the runs. I don't see anybody making the runs like Foden or Bellingham or Saka in behind.
No.
And the second half,
that's right.
Yeah, I mean, the Dutch brought on Veerman in the first half and took off Depay, who was useless, right? And that stiffened up the midfield, and they got a foothold in that game. And then the second half, we weren't proactive. We stopped. What happened to them good balls that were going out to Saka? Saka was doing really well in that first half, and we stopped doing it. And like, I do question footballers' IQ at times, where they got the football intelligence and the intelligent awareness to even be instinctive. Like when Sonny, you know, one criticism of a player like Sonny has been in the past, you give him too much time to think, and he may miss a chance. He may still score it, but and a lot of his work, a lot of his great goals have come just bang in the net, you know, or from the edge of the whatever. He just does it without thinking instinctively, and we see a little bit from Foden when he juggled that ball between his 2 feet and the ball didn't go over the line by the referee's watch. You know what I mean? We see him at the bar, which would have been as good as Lamal's goal for Spain if it had gone in, right? So, I mean, we've got some fantastic talent. Just like to see a bit more individual skill from them, not all the time, but in the final third, not further back. You know.
I reckon we should start with Watkins as well because we need a runner, right? Because I call Foden the Wasp. He's more of a busybody player. He likes the ball played into him, but when it goes over the top, he's not particularly effective, whereas what Watkins is. You put a ball over the top for Watkins, he's on it. He's on it like a fly to poo, right? So I think it'd be a good idea to start him because he deserves to start after getting us there.
It does, but who's he going to, seriously?
The thing is, what he'll have to sacrifice somebody, and it's very hard because who do you sacrifice?
I think it could only be Mainu. It could only be Mainu.
It could only be Mainu, right? So I would actually, just to get that edge on them, because if we give them the impotence early doors and they score a couple and we're chasing the game, it's going to be a lot harder. I just feel that we need to get the presidents of the game under wraps early doors and make sure that they don't get the one up on us, because they can score goals, Spain. You know, they're very deadly, right? All right, Moreta is not the one that's scoring, but he has scored. But I'm just saying, like, they've got so many players they're really technically brilliant at moving the ball. So we're equal to them. And also, I would love to see Eze get on as well, because we haven't seen enough of him. And I'd love to see Bowen. I'm saying we need to change it up. And I think our winner this time is going to come from a player that we don't expect.
I'm with Ian on this one. I don't think Southgate, if he made one change like we suggested, I would be surprised.
He's
I would
not
welcome
do
it.
Hang on, you can't both talk, Ellie. Let's hear Adrian.
Yeah, you can't. If you change too much now and it goes wrong, imagine the backlash. He's gonna Shaw starts, okay, yeah, no one's gonna argue with that. The only other change I see you making, if you're gonna make it, if you're gonna be negative or conservative, you could put Mainu on the bench for Gallagher or Trent, or you could move. What I'd like to see is like actually, because you can change it after half hour. It doesn't work. It's not the end of the world, or at half time. I mean, I would like to see Bellingham as the number 8, ball carrying number 8. I think he'd be more central. I think it'd have more effect on the game. And then you've got him and Rice there to cope with Rodri. He's not going to drop the England captain. Foden played well enough to keep his place. So did Saka. Right? Watkins did what he's meant to do, come on and score a goal. So I would like Watkins, because I think Watkins would really give the Spanish something to think about if he's behind Kane, Foden and Saka. And then you got Bellingham and Rice together. Our defence has been okay, you know. You can
worry it leaves us too open, Adrian, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well then he might think that way anyway. He might think, well, I'll give Trent a game then. Or I'll give.
Right.
You've got to look at the players he's used as the subs, you know, because they're the ones he's going to use. Anyone that's come on as a sub are the ones he'll pick from. Sure. Who he picks, I don't know. Right. I haven't got a clue.
Okay, I'm gonna get some predictions, and then we're going to talk about some football club from London N17 certainly before I go off. If someone else wants to carry on, then that's fine. But I'm joining Mark Cousins in the pub, different pub, but as I say, I want to make sure I've got a place to
have one for me, Ian. Have one for me. No, have more than one.
Have one for me as well.
If we're singing Viva España at the end of the night, so be it.
Ian, answer me this quickly, then, right? How comes, right? Especially if England win, it takes 10 minutes to walk to your local, but 20 minutes to walk home.
I mean, absolutely. When we're coming back from Madrid, it took God knows how long to walk back from the pub. Not that it was that far, but because there were so many comatose scousers in the way that we had to climb over. But anyway, that's another story. Let's talk about the scores. Let's go for scores on the doors. Ellie, let's start with you.
Right, scores, and I think England going to pip it by 1 goal. It's either going to be 3-2. I'm going to go for 3-2 to England, right? Because I don't like that 2-1. It's boring. 3-2, more exciting game. Come on, England, you can do it.
Adrian,
I've already tipped 3-2. Funny, so there might be some karma going on here. Really, I hope so. Like I said, 3-2. No.
Okay, Chang.
I'm going to stick with my earlier prediction from Friday on Just the Girl Who Loves Spurs by sticking with a simple 2-1 scoreline. I know this is a very common prediction because 2-1 was actually the scoreline for both the semi-finals between England and the Netherlands, and also between Spain and Germany. So I'm going to go with this. Spain and France. I'm going to go with the same 2-1 scoreline as I did on Friday. I'm expecting Harry Kane to step up for a penalty, or maybe even from a corner with his headers, and maybe another goal from Jude Bellingham, who has been coming under fire somewhat crazily enough, despite everything that is done for Real Madrid this season. If anything, I would say that it is him actually who's more lackluster than Kane, if anything, in this particular tournament. So I really do hope he backs himself with another goal in this monumental final, the same way he has been, bagging those goals for Real Madrid almost at will this season when he lifted the Champions League for Real Madrid. So I really do hope he does carry on his Champions League winning form to this Euro final. And you never know if he's going to pull off yet another spectacular overhead scissors kick goal in this final that was completely out of the blue. We were all expecting England to get dumped out, and lo and behold, he does and pull that off and gets England a very late equalizer against Slovenia. So yeah, I really am hoping Kane and Bellingham score to make it a 2-1 win for England.
There's not masses of you in the chat, but if any of you are watching want to put in a score, I've been laughing for the last 5 minutes because I think it's going to be 3-2 as well. I think it's been a really poor tournament, but the semi-finals were both really good games. And I think it would be great if the final gave everybody a real final to celebrate. England really took the foot off the gas, and or the foot off the brake rather, and it would be really good if we attack them and beat them, playing really strong attacking football. 2-2 after 90 minutes and a win 3-2 in extra time, and that's my final word on the subject. Right, let's have 10-15 minutes on Tottenham.
Our favourite subject.
It's the team we all adore. Troy Parrott, for some reason that I don't understand, some people are sad to see him go. I'm neither surprised nor disappointed, Ellie.
Yeah, he never really got a look in as such. Like we sort of treated him a bit like Harry Kane, loaned him out. He never really sparked any real urge to score goals wherever he went, apart from just recently for Excelsior where he scored 17. But like Charlie said, even the least effective striker was scoring at least that. So you can't really put that as a marker. And I think he comes with a lot of baggage and sort of dodgy things that he was doing in the past. Yep. So I think the club have washed their hands with him because they made him train on his own, like Adrian said. Very, very well spotted there, Adrian, that you saw that. You're always eagle-eyed as well for the club because you love them like we all do, but you've just got that extra je ne sais quoi when it comes to letting us know what's happening. I just feel that he wasn't making the grade as such, and there are other players ahead of him. So it was his time to leave, and good luck to him. I wish him well, and thank you very much, Troy Parrott, for the efforts that you gave. And I just wish him luck in his future career.
Adrian?
Yeah, I mean, like, what's 8 million euros, 5 mil? I think there's a 20% sell-on clause in it as well. So that's all good. I think, he'll smash it in Holland. We know that because he's virtually done it already. And Alkmaar wouldn't have come and offered 8 million if they didn't think it was worth twice that. No one offers you what they think someone's really worth. They'll always try and under the price. I mean, I've watched him. I see him get a late winner for Ireland once and all that. He has got something about him, but is it enough? I mean, look at all the loans Kane had. until Sherwood give him his debut and Levy was going, why are you playing Kane instead of Soldado? You know what I mean? You wouldn't have thought that Kane was going to come along. Fans were still singing One Season Wonder, like Ian alluded to earlier about him, like jokingly, of course. And no, I mean, like he like I think part of the reason is we've got better than Troy Parrott following behind. Dame Scarlett is better. Jamie Donnelly's better. Will Lancashire is better. And Will Lancashire's just signed a new contract. They are better.
I'm going to come on to that.
Yeah, cool. Okay, stop before I waffle on.
Yeah. Chang, so any thoughts?
So with regards to Troy Parrott,
yeah, I'll let you eat. I'll let you finish eating. I think
it's okay, it's fine, because I just had a very slight bar. No, with regards to Troy Parrott, I think his entire Spurs career could be summed up by his debut. I can't remember which team it was that Pochettino deployed him against during that lower league. It was against a lower league club in I think it was either the League Cup or a FA Cup, in which we lost on penalties. He came on, he debuted, and he played, I think, the full 90 minutes.
Colchester United.
I think it's correct. I think you're right. Colchester United. Yep, that's the club. Ever since Pochettino gave him his debut, I think it was only 16 or 17 at the time. His entire time at Spurs has been somewhat patchy, to be honest. Never really got a look in from all the managers that he played under, regardless if it's Pochettino, Jose, Antonio Conte, Nuno, and now Big Ange. So I think he's more than had ample time to make the mark. And unfortunately, if he hasn't made the grade, then there's no point in keeping him around. I really do hope. I really, really do hope the likes of Troy Parrott, Alejo Valise, and possibly even any other new forward that Daniel Levy is going to sign this coming transfer window really steps up big time, because we really, really do need a tried and proven Premiership striker to spearhead our challenge this coming season.
I have to interrupt you, my friend. I have the team. I have the England team that's just hot off the press.
Yeah, come on, give it
as
to
said,
no change.
I think it's the team we all expected. It's a team I said before. Shaw in for
Trippier.
Shaw in for Trippier. Pickford, Walker, Shaw, Rice, Stones, Gui, Saka, Kane, Bellingham, Foden, and Mainu. So I'm going to assume that's going to be a sort of 4-2-3-1 or
a 4-3-3.
4-3-3. Yeah, you've got the same as me. You've got the same as me. I've got it from Matt Long.
It was inevitable, wasn't it, lads? It was inevitable.
So look, that's what we expect. We'll see how it's a fluid team. It's the team we expected anyway. So we'll see when the Spanish team comes in, if I can do that. Sorry to have interrupted you there.
No, it's fine. Jan, I think we'll go 4-3-3 with the extra Bellingham helping in the midfield more.
Yeah, I think that would be great, and I think I do. I love the idea that we might just attack them. That team is so flexible. If you let Mainu, Foden, Saka, and Bellingham fly, that's got a lot of attacking options, a real lot of attacking options. But okay. I mean, I'm of the opinion. I certainly am happy to see Troy Parrott go. I don't see any idea that he might be another Harry Kane, and if he is, well, so be it. But scoring goals in the Dutch league is one thing. But the boy Santiago Jimenez, I think, from Feyenoord is one we and a lot of people have watched. I think I've got the name and the club right, but he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it anywhere near as much for Mexico. And in fact, apparently he was really poor in the Copa de America. So I don't know that the Dutch league is a particularly great league to judge a player on. Anthony looked a world beater when he played for Ajax. Man United said we thought it was worth 25 million. For whatever reason, they paid something like 90 million for him. and he looks a £25 million player at best.
Yeah.
So right, the friendlies yesterday. As I say, I'm going to want to knock off in 5-10 minutes max. Whether you want to carry on or not is
well, we'll carry on. I'll carry on as long as the others want to carry on a little.
Okay, well, let's talk about the friendlies. I mean, one was behind closed doors where they effectively, I know that they played two different teams, 5-0. They won the first half 5-0, and it was 2-2 in the second, so 7-2. But we don't know much about that, Adrian. What have you heard much?
Yes, Brendan Johnson got a first half hat trick, and Sonny scored 2 in the first half as well. Or he scored 2. I'm not sure if they were in the first half. Mikey Moore scored.
Yeah,
and I know, and I love that. I love him. He's only 17 this month, I think, or in August. And I think the other one was a boring own goal, and they won 7-2, I think it was. So,
Werner got the assist for the own goal.
Did he? All right, one for the future. Yeah. So, and then the under 21s beat Enfield 3-2. They were away. They were 3-0 up, and I don't know. I like the game finished 3-2. Yeah. So
Lancashire scored again, Adrian.
Yeah, good.
The kid can't the others in, but I know you're a big fan. Tell us why you're a big fan.
Well, he came. He started at Arsenal, believe it or not, and then he went to Sheffield United, and I think we paid £2 or £3 million for him when he was 17 years of age. Last season, season before last, the under 21s were nearly relegated. This season, but we won the under 18s and under 17 cups, right? The youth team, because our academy goes down to under 9s if people didn't know that. So there's a lot of players there, right? Down to the under 9s. Maybe it's illegal after that. Probably is, right? So, So they've won. Lancashire last season, the under 21s have been an absolute joy to watch. I mean, and they won from being nearly relegated the season before. They won their league, and there was a silly playoff trophy, so they won 2. And Lancashire scored 23 goals in 22 games. There's something about this kid, right? And Donnelly, who got a few games on the bench for us last season, he has got. He came from Northern Ireland as an out-and-out striker, and Wayne Burnett converted him more into a number 10. He's got a killer through ball pass on him. His vision is superb, right? Superb. But you've also got Sunsup Bell there, like I say, and you've got a Spanish guy, Santiago.
I like him.
He's had a breakout season this year. Last year, I like the look of him. You could see stuff he's got it, but it just weren't. And don't forget that was the season before when we were nearly relegated as well, right? So but this season he's at his straps, The only down on the under 21s. Where are the fullbacks? We got Charlie Sayers from Southend. We let him go. He's been let go. We seem to have defenders. Dorrington's going to be out probably to the autumn because of his injury. Left foot centre back. We know Phillips is good. George Abbott's come through and Tyrasol have come through from the under 18s. They do look. They're going to be stars. Tyrasol is like Moussa Dembele he hasn't filled out like it, but on the ball, you watch the way he glides past people. It's so good. But, it's good to watch them. How many of them are going to kick on and make it? I think actually more will than we've ever seen before. How many, I don't know. But they're a great crop, And now Dane Scarlett has got success written all over him, if you ask me. He's younger. We see what happens with Alfie Devine, another highly rated player. I think him and Phillips might end up back with Wayne Rooney at Plymouth for loans again, because bear in mind, Devine came on against Marine when he was 15 and scored, So some of these are not like under 21s, like they're all 20 or all 19. They are a lot younger. They're a lot of younger players, and some are good, but they're not ready. I sort of think I covered probably too much.
Sure. So, Chang, you any thoughts on any of these young players coming through? If you don't see enough of them, it's fine. We'll move on.
No, there are a couple of players which I have been keeping an eye on, especially Mikey Moore and Ashley Phillips when they went out on loan. But honestly, I am honestly and frankly looking forward to seeing a lot of them strut their stuff come pre-season when it gets fully underway. And this upcoming tour in Korea, in Japan, in let's see now, where are they going? Are they going to Australia again? No, they're not going to Australia. Even back in the UK, against the likes of Maidenhead. I think is it Maidenhead or no, what's the other team? There's a very prestigious team they are coming up against officially on preseason. I really am looking forward to seeing them, and big things will be expected of them. I would expect the likes of, say, Alfie Devine or Mikey Moore, even Jamie Donnelly to be part of the squad, the senior squad that is, come next season. Because if you are ready, you are more than ready. It's kind of pointless and needless really to go out on loan again, unless say you are a bit too fresh and green behind the ears. You don't have the minutes under your belt, so that makes sense. But if these players which I just spoke about, if they are more than ready to to be our next Kobe Manu or even our next Raheem Sterling, and make it big for themselves.
Ellie, I'm going to bring you in there. I haven't really got anything to add to what you guys have said, but I am going to take my leave. I did say an hour for tonight, and I need to just get myself sorted, ready, and out. Otherwise, there will be no room at the inn for me tonight. So.
Can't have that.
Thank you, everybody, those of you in the chat as well. And I will catch up with you all. I don't know whether Tuesday or not, but I'll catch up with you all soon.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ian.
Right. Take care.
Take care. Enjoy yourself. Have a match.
Yeah.
Have a great match ahead.
Come on, England.
Have some nice.
Come on, England. Come on, England. Come on, England.
Yeah, come on, England. Come on. Yeah. So. I'm looking forward to the match. Theo is giving me daggers, right, because he wants to watch the preview. So I'm going to bow out as well. So I do apologise because he wants to watch the TV and I'm in the living room. I'm not upstairs. So I have to. Sometimes you have to obey. You know, when you get married, it says obey honour. I have to do that. So I do apologise, guys, but I'll let you take the reins. And I'm you're more than capable of carrying the show, you two. You're brilliant. All right, darlings, take care.
Take care.
I'll be in my husband's good books now. Take care, everybody. And
care.
thank you for everybody for joining us in the chat, whoever joined us. We do appreciate that. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you soon.
Right. Yeah, there's... The transfer rumours are going to come flying now when this tournament's over.
Especially.
Yeah. I mean, today we were heavily linked with Eze and Pedro Neto as well. I would love Eze myself. I think most Spurs fans would. The Neto thing with his injuries and missing 19 games last year and scoring, I don't know I don't know his whole history. I don't want to be unfair to the player. Would you like Neto at Spurs, or would you think he comes with a bit of a baggage or whatever?
I would only seriously consider Pedro Neto if his fitness is thoroughly and properly given the runaround. If his his medical and his his fitness tests are passing well with flying colors, then maybe I can consider him. Because otherwise, for me, we already have one Ryan Sessegnon in recent history, and we really cannot afford to have any more baggage, as you mentioned earlier. When it comes to trying to compete on all fronts, especially if the games are going to be coming thick and fast now that we've already qualified for Europa. I would actually seriously consider him as a sort of an afterthought, more as a sort of a secondary deal, or even a sort of side deal, because I feel that there are more pressing positions, there are more pressing players that we should be going after. You already mentioned Eze earlier, but I would seriously go all out now for Ivan Toney. I know that there is still lots of questions to be asked of
Interesting.
his
Interesting.
mentality, his attitude,
Mm.
his demons, his problems. But yeah, I would actually try and secure Ivan Toney first before maybe say trying out for Eze. And amongst the trio, I think Pedro Neto would be the third, you almost in that pecking order. Pedro Neto,
Yeah,
yeah,
we've
for me, I
got
wouldn't.
a list of strikers there, like obviously like
Mhm.
Santiago Jimenez. I don't think we'll go for him. Tony, he's got the track record. I don't think we're going to go for him either, believe it or not. We've been linked recently with Eintracht Frankfurt, Omar Mamouche, the Egyptian striker that, remember, Mido, our ex-Egyptian player, raving about this guy, he reckons, is a new Salah. He's fast as anything. I did watch a video. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know if he can do it. I actually think we're going to end up with Jonathan David. And the reason I say Jonathan David is simply because he's had 2 decent seasons in France, which means nothing, but he's 24, Chang. He's 24. And I think that they want a younger type striker in, not 20s, right? But like that sort of age group. All right, he hasn't impressed for Canada, I don't think, in the Copa America. There's been a lot of controversy, which we'll come to that in a bit. Yeah, so I think because he's 24, I think he's probably top of the list. Plus, he's got 1 year left on his contract, so you'd probably get him for 25 million, and that would leave more money for an Eze. I just, if something was going to be done with Tony, I think there would have been noises earlier because this deal could have been done. I mean, look, we got Gray in, didn't we? That deal got done, and that I don't believe he was top of our list. I believe we were forced to act quickly after Brentford stepped in, and I think because I don't think we're really going for him at that point, right? It was one of those we're leaving on the back burner. But I don't know. What do you think?
That's a very interesting take on the likes of Ivan Toney and Jonathan David, because as you mentioned earlier, the Copa America that is going to also conclude later tonight, or should I say early tomorrow morning, for those in the UK. I did watch a bit of Jonathan David when he took to the pitch against Uruguay in the third placing playoff. Very, very early this morning when Uruguay won that. And Jonathan David, well, there is a player in there, and I feel that with the right players around him, James Maddison, Son Heung-min, with Pepe Matassar and Bissouma, and maybe Brendan Johnson or Timo Werner around him, he will be able to excel in a Spurs squad. But Jonathan David, there is reason to be cautious with his signing, because for me, he operates very much like a Vincent Janssen. The way he plays, the way he sets himself up, even the way he goes about his business on the pitch, he does bring a lot of comparisons to Vincent Janssen for me.
Right.
Not so much Roberto Soldado, but he can score if and when called upon. Only that the big question mark would be, is he a better option or even a bigger upgrade compared to Richarlison? For me, I think that is the one big comparison a lot of us Spurs fans will be making this coming season. Because if whoever Paratici and Levy and Johan Lang green lights for us to sign, if this player isn't a step up from Richarlison, if his returns, if his goal contribution rate isn't as efficient or even on par or equal with Richarlison, then I think serious question marks will have to be asked of the recruitment team. Although I know getting a proven striker for the right price isn't going to be easy, because not many clubs want to sell their prize asset the way Spurs did when we sold Harry Kane early last season. Not many clubs are going to do that. So I would also be cautious with this links with Jonathan David. But you know what? If these are the kind of players that Big Ange fancies, if these are the players that Big Ange feels that he can get a good return, a sizable return of investment. If we do sign him, the same way we extended Timo Werner's loan, so I would leave it to Big Ange to call the shots when it comes to signings forwards and strikers. But yeah, I would still prioritize Ivan Toney after the Euros. I actually can see something happening. Although whether would it come off, I will leave it to the recruitment department and Levy to see if they can make a deal for Ivan Toney. But Jonathan David is also one of those players that we will be at the same way. We might even look at a Jota from Celtic, or Santiago Jimenez, the Mexican, Ironwood. And yeah, I think apart from those names, there aren't many other names really right now.
No, you had like El Nesri from Sevilla, didn't you? The Moroccan forward. You had Albert Gudmundsson, who might have an assault charge hanging over him, like from Italy as well. And there was like a Pender. We're not getting him. He's a raw, fast talent, but like I don't think we're getting him. The thing is, though, there's just a dearth of strikers there. That's hard to pick one. I mean, I could pick Tony with you, but I don't know if he's got the baggage or the attitude problem. If he is, I don't want him. And then you think, well, there isn't. So and I don't want us to bring a striker, and if Ange don't think the ones that are out there aren't good enough, I'd rather get Eze and go with what we've got and give Elogio Velez a chance, or one of the other players a chance as well. Because under Ange ball, if you've got a reasonable technique, you should be banging goals in anyway, because you're going to get lots of chances, right? Yeah. So I'd rather see that. But I'm pleased with the two signings we've got, and Bergvall and Gray. I'm very pleased with them. They're exciting players. It's not been an exciting transfer window yet. And I think the one thing that will excite it would be getting Eze in. And we're with the CAA base agency he's with. I mean, Porro's with them as well. Angie's with the same agency. They've been at the club. They've been wined and dined and all that. Audio says he reckons we're up at Solanke. It's not my cup of tea. And on your question, the price of Neto, Audio, fans can be assured, if we get Pedro Neto in, the key to that deal will be the add-ons because of his injury record, right? Yeah. They'll only get X amount of money with all these talks of 50 and 60. No one's paying that for Neto with his injury record, right? But if we did a deal for him, the deal with him will be the only thing that's going to boost that price if we're in for him is the add-ons, and they're going to be on amount of games played, blah, blah, and everything you can think of that covers Spurs. So, and that's if we're in for him, right? Because we don't really know, because we were linked with Nico Williams, linked with Danny Olmo, back with Gibbs White, Edison, Fratesi, Gallagher, Marcus Edward, Semensky from Fenerbahce, even Carl Walker, Peters, Chalobah, Anderson. I mean, the list goes on. I'm waiting to hear when we hear that terms have been agreed with the player, then the club can go to the club and say, like, well, we want to buy your player. If you know that we're talking to a club, you should really know that terms have already been agreed with the player, because it's pointless talking to a club if the player hasn't agreed to come. So, and we ain't had any of that concrete stuff yet. It's just all rumours and speculation. And we'll probably find out that some of these players we're linked with, we weren't in the media. We've got no interest in whatsoever. What do you know about Desiree Dewey and his brother that play for Rennes, Cheng? Have you watched him?
I have seen some clips of Doué when we were initially linked with him. Although you could say that any player could look good on YouTube when you put up a compilation of them and their greatest hits. But this was a player which was highly sought after, not only on British soil, but also in Europe and the world around. So if there is concrete interest in him, and he is interested in making the move over to N17, I could see him coming here. Although whether or not, again, this goes back to dollars and cents, whether or not we can do a deal for him, and whether or not we can come to terms with his, his demands, his wages. I think that would be the only stumbling block, because for a player of his caliber, especially at his young tender age. If other clubs come sniffing, I think he would prefer a club that can offer him silverware and also opportunities to be given a regular starting berth, a regular place in the starting 11, which honestly right now, unless we ship out the likes of Højbjerg, unless we move on Højbjerg or Lo Celso, I can't see
Regulon, Emerson as well.
Regulon, Emerson Royale. I can't see.
There's 6 to go. They'll go. They'll all go. They'll get money for them.
Don't get me wrong. I think if Due is as good as a lot of people are making up to be, then we could be in for him, especially if he is seen to be, say, competition for any of our midfielders or even any of the starting 11. But right now, I honestly feel that we should actually go for tried and proven Premiership players who can actually not only just walk into our starting 11. If they can walk into any starting 11 in the Premier League, that would be of tremendous asset to us.
Yeah, I mean he's in the French league, so naturally you think PSG will snap him up. He's 19, and you think like, well, at that age, I'm not saying players don't move that age, but he's in a French league. PSG are rich as hell, aren't they? So I see him going there. I mean, unless they've probably got a fantastic youth set up anyway because they've had the money to set one up. So unless they're full of players in positions like that, and the player's also got to consider whether he's going to get game time at his age to develop. So it doesn't mean like Real Madrid can come in for you tomorrow, one of our starlets, but what you got to consider is, well, are they going to play you? You know what I mean? Rather than park you. I mean, there was the other thing recently which hasn't helped us as a club is the Colombia-Uruguay incident out in the Copa America. I mean, and Bentancur hasn't done himself no favours. One, if he's not injured, I could see him not going on the trip to Japan and Korea because they might protest about his racist slur. The thing with them in South America is, though, their cultures, I mean, I don't know what it's like in Malaya, but the culture in the UK has moved on from the days when we used to have Mind Your Language program on the telly and things. We had like programs which were blatantly racist. We've moved on further from that. We've moved on further than a lot of redneck American states as well, right? All right. So in his culture, he got picked up, I think, by Asian reporters anyway, which is understandable, and then got the attention of the Western press more. But him coming out, I mean, they've just got to progress in South America because it's not the only country that's like that. I mean, like, we know with Argentina and others, there's things like this that have happened in the past, like with black players as well, and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what a Malaysian take would be and what Bentancur's coming at. See, what disappoints me, I really like the player. So,
me too. Me as well. He's the reason we got Champions League. He's the reason that we got Champions League under Conte. If you remember, when Conte took over, that's the reason why we sang that. He's the reason.
I mean, they're going to get done. I mean, will it be a career-ending trial for him? Will Spurs take it up? I think, like most clubs, what they do, clubs are cute. They'll wait and see what the federations out there do. They'll wait and see what the owners of the stadium do. When they've all got their fines and bans from international games, then the club, you're going to get bodies over here that are going to say, well, he's brought the club into disrepute. You should do something as well, So there might be pressure brought to bear on the club. I don't know. I like the player. The old bottle throwing incident. I haven't watched all the videos. Like, I'm just going to wait and just see how it plays out. I mean, like, did you see all that incident and that? Sorry.
It's okay. It's fine. So, yeah, I saw some clips of Bentancur and his, throwing of projectiles into the crowd after the Colombia game when they lost in the semifinals. And, yeah, I think that shouldn't be happening, regardless of whether your family you feel that your family, is in dire need, or if some loved ones are, are at risk, you should never take it into your own hands, because there's only so much that you can do by yourself as a player. So what he did was actually completely uncalled for, and the projectiles and the missiles that he threw into the crowd, I think, was born more of frustration. But what's more concerning really is actually Bentancur as a whole, beginning from that one incident, if you remember, when he was taken off at home against Manchester City in a game that a lot of Spurs fans didn't want us to win, rather strangely. The cameras caught his reaction to being subbed, and he really threw a tantrum on the bench when he was taken off. And then you couple that with the incident with him with a reporter saying how us Asians more or less look alike, and that really didn't come off well with the Koreans and some Asians as well. And then you add this to the mix as well, and it's not looking good for him at the moment. It's been a complete PR disaster for him the last couple of months since that, since his substitution against Manchester City at home. So I think it just makes sense for him to be dropped completely from the Asian friendlies in Korea and Japan, seeing as how he's just only played his final game for Uruguay early this morning.
Yeah, they won it. He scored the penalty. They finished third.
That's correct. Yes, he did score the winning penalty. But yeah, I mean, for Bentancur, I think right now he just needs to lay low. I honestly actually expected him to lay low after his interview, his rather explosive interview that has caught all the wrong, that made all the wrong, that raised that got our attention for all the wrong reasons. But somehow or other, he then goes and do what he did against the Colombian fans when the final whistle went, when they lost to Colombia in the semi-finals. So I think for him, he really needs to just lay low for a while. Try and get his head screwed back on.
He's been named among 11 Uruguayan players, so they're investigating the video and all that. And this is, well, I can see fines and international bans being dished out. I can see the stadium being fined for insufficient stewarding and stuff like that. Then it's the question of whether, like, over here you might have to, if you do things wrong over in the UK, you might have to do like community service or if you fight and attend anger management or something like that. I think if they've got to attend anything like that, they should pay for it themselves, right? And we'll see if this runs or whether it's left to follow the course out there and then it's like forgotten or not, or whether there's repercussions. But I don't think anyone would do anything because it's all sub judice at the moment. So I don't think anyone's going to do. Do I condone it? No, I don't condone it. If it was my family in the stands, I'd have been first in there to protect my family and damn the consequences, because that's, because you protect your family. Sod the law of the land then you take your fines and your hits afterwards, right? But it's a question of if you're going to retaliate. Over here, self-defense has to be reasonable force. Was it reasonable what they did or unreasonable? And that's for the judges out there to decide, right? Or whatever. If it goes to criminal proceedings as well. Yeah. So, yeah, he's not done himself no favors, which is a shame because he was just coming back from injury. I mean, it could end his Spurs career. I mean, I'm not going to be the one that judges it. I'll express an opinion on it if and when anything happens, but that's about it. So, yeah. Moving on then, and apparently like Archie Gray and Lucas Bergvall have impressed in training and they've settled in quickly, which is good news. So, yeah. And I'm glad Johnson got a few goals yesterday as well. Yeah. They didn't say if he missed any though. Yeah.
He might have
scored 10, you know what I mean? Or something like, I don't know.
I would really love to see some clips or some highlights really of that friendly that went on behind closed doors. I don't think it will be released. I don't think it was even
No.
recorded or
It probably wasn't.
taped or anything. But yeah, I think the real business end, or rather the real deal, would come when we do travel to Korea and Japan. And I think there was another friendly coming up on local British soil. I can't even remember the name.
There's two, Chang. I'll give you them here. I've got on my notes here. Like, I mean, okay, this is the list, right? So on the 17th of July, right? It's only next week, right? Friday, I think we play Hearts away. Heart of Midlothian.
17th of July is just 2 days from now. I mean, it's already the 15th of July here. It's already 15th of July here.
Yeah.
I think it should be on the 17th should be on a Wednesday. Am I right? I think 17th is on Wednesday because it's already Monday here in Southeast Asia. So
And
17th.
Yeah, we played them on their 100th centenary, and now it's their 150th centenary because Dave McQuire, the double winning Spurs captain, came from Hearts. So we're playing them away. And then 3 days later, on the 20th, we're playing QPR away. And then a week after the weekend, now it might be because players are coming back from international duty, whether they're having holidays or not, I don't know, or having rests. Then on the 27th of July, we play Vissel Kobe in the Japanese National Stadium, which makes sense because the rainy season ends in mid-July out there in Korea and whatever. So then on 4 days later, we play Team K in Seoul, Korea. That's a made-up team. I don't know whether it's a President's 11 or something like that sort of make-up team. And then 4 days, and then that's on the 31st of July. And then 3 days later, we play Bayern Munich in Seoul again. And then a week later, we come home, we play Bayern Munich again in the Spurs season. And then the week after that, Saturday the 7th of August, the season starts. And for September, there's been 3 fixture changes. The Newcastle away game on the 1st of September is now a 1:30 kickoff. The Arsenal home game has been changed to a Sunday. We knew that was going to happen because it's Sunday, 15th of September. The kickoff's 2:00. Stop fans getting drunk early, right? And then Manchester United away on Sunday, the 29th of September. The kickoff's 4:30, which is a normal one. So that is about what we've been talking about recently. Yeah. So now, what's it? We're nearly an hour and a half in, and half hour before kickoff. I've really got nothing else unless you want to say anything more about England or whatever. I mean, I don't know.
Currently, right now, I think a lot of the attention would be firmly on the final that kicks off in just over half an hour. But I am also looking forward to seeing how. I know this player hasn't caught much attention from the media, especially Spurs fans, given everything that's gone on surrounding England and also Betancourt. But let's keep in mind that Christian Romero has a Copa America final to play later tonight or early tomorrow morning for those of you over in Europe and the UK, when Argentina take on Colombia in the final of the Copa America in Miami. And that is something that I am looking forward to as well, because it's going to be kicking off at 8 a.m. It will kick off at 8 a.m. here on a Monday morning. I think it should be something like 1 a.m. It's going to be very, very late, or rather very early on the Monday morning for those of you in Europe and in the UK. It's going to be 1 a.m. But I am looking forward to that as well. Once this Euros is over, so there is something for us to look forward to as well. And I can honestly see Argentina lifting their second consecutive international trophy in quick succession following their World Cup success. I think this is going to be the final, the last. I can honestly see this being Lionel Messi's final international game for Argentina, regardless whether they win or lose the final against Colombia. But all attention for me anyway, is going to be focused on Christian Romero and seeing how he performs, because there is word that the likes of Real Madrid are actually sniffing around our prized centre back, because if he really is that good, if Messi is serious with his claims that Cristiano Romero is the best centre back in the world, then I think it only makes sense for the biggest club in all of Europe to come
We're,
sniffing for him.
we're all
Because
right there at the moment because he's got 3 years left on his contract. So I'm all for you don't let players run down their contracts. When they're 2 years out, 2 years left, you offer them a deal. If they then don't want to sign the deal, then you sell them. It doesn't matter who they are, because otherwise you're going to lose them for nothing eventually. So even if it's a good player, one that you will particularly love, if they don't want to sign, don't want to play for this club with 2 years left on their contract, and they've been offered one, then you would sell. I don't think they'd offer him a contract now on 3 years, because that looks like you're worried and you're concerned and like you're getting jittery about it. The other thing about the Real Madrid link was the fact that they're looking for someone younger. They haven't they haven't to, somehow manage their enormous debt they've got, the same as Barcelona. And I think, and now with players they've brought in, they're another club that's probably going to need to sell in the future to raise funds, right? I mean, how much did Mbappe cost, for example, to go out there? Like, all the eggs would be in that basket, right? So so I don't see Real Madrid being a threat. My concern actually is like with some of the younger players, because you get a 2-year scholarship with a 1-year professional contract, to my understanding. I can be corrected if I'm wrong. And then you always leave. We get to this stage, you leave. That leaves a window of opportunity for your likes of Dortmund or other teams. The German clubs love to snatch our youngsters up, to come along at an opportune moment and then offer a player big wages just to come. I mean, we do offer good wages to our kids now. We've changed the payment rules completely when Dean Rastrick went. We broke the wage structure. It's now we just pay what we can get to get a player in, So, which I think is the better way to go. Yeah, so that's on that. I think Romero, we're all right. If he said end of next year, if we haven't won anything and he fancied leaving, look, we've got Ashley Phillips, Dorrington, Vuskovic coming in. We're not exactly going to be short in the centre-back department. We might even bring a centre-back in this window. I don't think it's that urgent. We may still, all them links with Calafiori that's going to Arsenal and things like that. And we've got 3 good centre-backs at the moment. Davies is back up as well. So we have been linked today. It was an obscure link with the club Brest in France. There's a left-back there called Brad. I haven't looked at him, haven't investigated this. It probably comes from a low-tier publication, but I will have a look, because I will go and have a look and punch his name up and see who he is. This Bradley Locko, a left-back. I don't even know we're in for a left-back, because you've got Davis as backup now, and you've got VDV that can cover across there, and you can bring Dragoshin in, can't you? So we're not going to get all our business done in this window, are we? Let's be fair. But I think we'll get 4 in, though, because if 4 bench players go, Chang, the way I see it, if Gil, who sat on the bench, Lo Celso, Emerson and Hoyt will go, there are 4 bench players. If they're going, which I believe all 4 of them will go, you've got to replace them.
Yeah.
That's why I think we'll get 4 in. What's your take on transfers? You heard anything?
Currently, I think the only thing I've heard of is Due and Eze, maybe even Tony, but that's about the extent of it. I would actually look to get players out first before we get any more signing ins, because as I mentioned earlier, I think we have an abundance of youth players right now, and for me, it would really make more sense, especially since Big Ange himself has already thrown down the mantle, thrown on the marker that we're going to challenge next season. So I think we should prioritize quality over quantity right now in terms of the signings. So if it means selling Emerson Royal over to AC Milan to fund our big signing, our marquee signing for for whatever position it may be, whether it's a tried and proven striker, a tried and proven winger, even a new midfielder if Bentancur is no longer part of Big Angel's plans, given what's gone on with him. The same way you could say the same for Pierre-Emile Højbjerg or even Bissouma, for that matter. There are so many other positions right now that I can think of that would be a priority.
The club apparently have put a 10 million price tag on Reguilon, and I think that's a reasonable price because there are a dearth of left-footed players out there. And Man United are rumoured to want backup because Shaw's only just got back in the England side. They let him go and he went to Brentford and all. I think he's worth 10 million. And the same with Spence when Genoa dropped out and Spurs went, well, no, we had an agreed price with you and now you don't want to buy the player for the price. I think it was only about 8.5 million or something like that. There might have been add-ons with that, sell-ons. And then I mean, you got the same situation with Emerson to AC Milan. They didn't want to pay the money and Spurs wanted 20 million euros for him, which is about 17 mil or so. Well, if we were out there tomorrow trying to look for a fullback, right, which we know we're going to need, a right back or a left back, depending what will determine Archie Gray's position on who we bring in, because if we bring in midfielders, he might end up at right back, you know what I mean, or inverted fullback. It's a hybrid midfield position anyway, really. So that might happen. But but I mean, I think like that, Emerson is worth 20 million. He's a good defender, not in this system, but he is a good defender and he's got a fantastic engine on him and he'll run all day, Same with Højbjerg, with the rumours to, he's had a good Euro. So there should be no problem of interest in Højbjerg. But it all depends where the player wants to go, I mean, rumour is that even again, I think someone else came in for Emerson and all that, Gil might end up going back to Sevilla again, but a Spanish club's going to look. This is very early in the window. I mean, the window ends 2 weeks into the season, September the 1st. I mean, we're only on you got 7 weeks to go still, right? There's about 7 weeks, so I don't see an issue getting rid of Spence, Reguilon, Gil, Lo Celso, Emerson, and Højbjerg. They're the last 6. Now, whether Bentancur has really shot himself in the foot depends how the club take it. The club are pretty politically correct. They don't like us using the word "yid," but they're never going to stop that, right? But so they might think, "Oh, get rid." But I mean, that would be sad for me. I like the player, and if you're punished, then it's just a question of there'll be those in the media say, "Oh, that's done and dusted, it's enough," and others will say, "No, it wasn't enough. He should be hung, drawn, and quartered." You know what I mean? And thrown in the Tower of London, you know what I mean, and things like that. So, I mean, we'll see. This ends tonight, hopefully with an England win, and England wakes up with a huge hangover tomorrow, and then now we're going to see some transfer news. Really, really. Well, Nigel John, yeah. I mean, see, to me, I think Nigel John's a good player. They try to play him at right back, but he's a midfielder, really, comes sort of right wing type player. He's been at the club since he's 10 years of age. I think he just turned 21 in March. So I think he would class as one of the 4 players for Europe out of 8 homegrown talents. You've got to have 4 academy trained players for Europe. We've got 2 goalkeepers in Brandon Austin and Alfie Whiteman. Now that Troy Parrott's gone, you've got Skip, and it might only be Noel John now. I'm not sure. Skip. Before, Parrott would have been 1 because he's 22 and he came through the ranks. So, yeah, it might be Noel John, might be the 4. And it's not just a question of having 4 academy homegrown players, because we know now there will always be a pathway for 4 players while Spurs are in Europe. There always will be. So when this 4 move on, we will get the ones that reach 21 and the under 21s now that will take their place. So there will be a pathway. How quick it happens, I don't know. But so you'll have that pathway. But then It's not a question of just having 4 academy trained players. They've got to be 4 that Ange wants to take those places up in the squad. What if he was okay with 3 of them, but not the 4th? You know, then you're thinking, well, you can promote from your B list, but I think once you promote from your B list, your under 21s, you can't then put them back into the under 21 list. I think they permanently stay on your A list, which is your 8 homegrown and your 8 homegrown minimum and your maximum of 17 foreign players. So these are all things. Look, the club, they've restructured the club at all levels now. And they have failed better in the transfer market, and they are doing things much better. I mean, we still get the PR blunders with them. I don't expect them to stop anytime soon, right? So, but yeah, but that's about it. 20 minutes to kick off, Cheng. I don't know if you're going to fall asleep during the game or.
That's a very good thing to ask. I might take a nap at halftime because I do have to leave for work in about just over 2 hours at 5 a.m. It's coming up to 3 a.m. now here in Southeast Asia. So I think I'll just I'll just get the adrenaline and the excitement to just push on through and fuel my the next couple of hours, because it's going to be a very, very interesting couple of hours to say the least. I did mention earlier the Copa America as well to cap off the day, so I am looking forward to that. And kickoff is in about 19 minutes from now. So I really do hope the whoever it is, audio artisan, if you're still tuning in, I really hope you have a fantastic end to your weekend. I really do hope that England come good this time around, because I mean, seriously, Harry Kane and all those negativities surrounding him, his selection, whether he's a trophy dodger or maybe is he well and truly jinxed.
That's superstitious, Jumbo.
Yeah, there's absolutely. I mean, you are not the club's all-time leading goal scorer and England's leading all-time goal scorer for no good reason.
Yeah.
And if ex-players and pundits like Gary Neville can come out openly and proclaim him to be England's greatest ever player, then there has to be something. There has to be something, to back those claims. And I really hope that somewhere down the line, Harry Kane does resign for us, whether it's the next season or the season after next, and so on and so forth, remains to be seen. But I feel that him and Sonny have some unfinished business together as a pairing, as a partnership. And as far as winning trophies with your boyhood club, I think that's something that the likes of Jan Vertonghen, Toby Alderweireld, and let's see now, I think Shadley, was it Shadley? One of those other Belgians also who went back to Belgian home soil to actually win silverware with their boyhood clubs. I mean, that's something that I really hope comes to fruition. But yeah, I mean, Harry Kane has endured more than enough stick from us fans, the media, the pundits, from rival fans, for him to just bottle all that up and really put that behind him tonight. I really do hope in about 2 hours time from now, at the end of the final whistle, he's going to be lifting the Euros trophy over in Berlin for England. And yeah, let's just enjoy the match, what it is. Let's just soak up the occasion. Let's just take it all in, soak up the occasion, and come on, England.
Just want to pick up on Audio Artisan's point here, Austin Whiteman, Skip and John. I believe, now this is a grey area, I've debated this with people, that Pat Matassar also comes into this group. You've got 4 here as well, The reason I say this, now I've had people debate me, so I'm not 100% sure. I'm 99% sure, though. The reason I say this because he's with our academy, even though he spent 3 years before he was 21 in France for that club that got relegated. I forget the name of them now, right? So he did that then. But I had other people debate me and say, well, it wasn't on our soil and all that. But then I said to them, well, yeah, but he wasn't a member of their academy, the French academy. He's a member of our academy out on loan. So unless there's something saying that loans don't count, which I haven't seen, then I think we can put, it's nice to have the extra one for now. I think we could put Pat Matsara in this group. Like I say, I'm not 100% sure, guys. I'm not. Anyway, Chang, it's been great to see you. You're brave to come on this time of night, right? In your country, right? Like I say, whenever you want to do any videos, I know you've got hectic lives. There's no pressure on you, Chang, to do videos. You do them when you want to do them, right? If things are hectic in your life, just get on with your life. And then but you know that Ellie and me will always be here, especially during the week, because we're both retired. So we can come on at a time that's suitable to you to do a show. If you make your notes, your bullet points, what you want to talk about, will come on because you're an admin and we want you to be inclusive. We're also hoping you could capture us some Asian supporters. Let's be selfish about this, right? There's no line there. That's why Ash is a mod as well. When she comes back from the wilds of India, to back to an area where she's got a good internet connection. I'd love to come on shows with you two, so and you got Elias as well. He's out there. I don't know why you get on with Elias, so as well. So yeah, thanks for coming on. Any last words at all?
Only two that comes to mind. Come on, you Spurs, and come on, England. It's coming home.
Come on, you Spurs. Come on, England, and I'll play us out.